Good evening, my beautiful risers and prosperity builders, my achievers, my humble ones, and those who are trying to reach their goals. Good evening. Again, this is your kind hostess, Cindy Placide. Listen, guys, I was here earlier today and we were talking to my good friend Jamila Silis. We were speaking to her about we were speaking to her about grief support, and I must say it was a really, really, really good show. So tonight we were supposed to be on and have this young lady with us, but I don't know what is happening with us. So let us, as they say, the show must go on, and so here we are. This this month we are talking about we are observing so many different we're having so many different observances, okay? And there are so many things happening in our daily lives, so many things happening in our daily lives, so many things that affect so many of us. If you see me, look, I'm trying to get the screen to, but let me say first, so many things are happening to so many of us in our daily lives that we do not get a chance to talk about it. A lot of us are hiding from it. A lot of us are ashamed to talk about these things. Some of us have found the courage to speak about our issues, and we have become a voice for change for the many who do not have a voice. We encourage people to let their voices be heard, let their grievances be heard, find the courage within themselves to find good in whom they are as a person. And tonight, um, as I wait for my guests, I think of my own personal experiences. Okay, I think of my own personal experiences as somebody who has faced domestic violence on different fronts, so many who has faced so many different things. So I can be a voice for so many different things: domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, abuse. I can be a voice for I can be a voice for autism because I'm an autism parent. I can be a voice for dwarfism because I had a daughter who died with dwarfism. I can be a voice for mental illness because I suffer with mental illness. And then it takes me to the point where I advocate. I'm a poet, author, advocate, and I advocate for mental illness. I advocate for autism. I advocate for domestic abuse, infant and child loss. I advocate for so many different things, and it is amazing to see how devastating and devastatingly the word I'm trying to find is not coming to my head, but it's amazing to see how difficult people have it, how people are suffering from so many devastating experiences, adversities, trials, downright cruelty and brutality, and at the hands of people they love. People are going through so much. And so domestic violence is a very, 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 very sensitive topic, and those who have found the courage to speak about it were able to live to speak about it. I don't know if that makes sense to you. And I commend these people. I want to say a big shout out to my dear friend in Chicago, Shawana Thomas. She has been inspirational in helping women in domestic violence circumstances to be able to speak, let their voice be heard and to speak out. I want to say a big shout out to Shawana Thomas, to Yolanda Carter. Both she and Shawana are domestic violence survivors. A big shout out to my friend Kathy Ismail Taylor, who is a domestic violence survivor. I saw her post something on her page and I was just blown away to see that, we can face brutal assault by the people that we love the most. It is absolutely horrendous to think that The Bible did say that man has dominated man to his own injury. And so, in essence, they have dominated each other to our own harm. And then we turn on each other as human beings. We that that bad side of us, because all of us are made of good and bad, that bad side of us exists, and it comes out, and it comes out with dirty and harmful and dreadful claws. And so those who are left at the end to face it, it is really, really devastating. That's why you find a lot of people with mental illness, PTSD. You find a lot of people with depression, anxiety, because so many of us are going through so much. This world is so hectic, and then the circumstances we find ourselves in is so dire, and so we find ourselves in these situations. But guys, you know, a lot of us don't have any hope. It's sad. We don't have any hope. And but all of us who go through these things, we are able to find a way to channel our pain into our biggest, biggest strength, into our most, you know, untouchable, unbreakable strength. And I'm not only speaking for others, survivors like myself, to I'm speaking to the many that I do not know, okay, who who have found the courage to speak up. There's still some out there who needs to be reached. And even if they don't need to come on platforms like this, but at least to use their opportunity, to use their experiences to help someone get out of the experience of domestic violence. Excuse me, I don't know what's in my throat. Now, you may ask yourself, what is this lady talking about? Steve 18, how are you? We'll be able to, what is domestic violence? And I'm going to, I think last night I read domestic violence, and I don't think a lot of people did understand what I see. So I'm going to tell you domestic violence from a source and what it is, what domestic violence is, and how the different forms of domestic violence. While I wait for my guests, I'm just gonna, be interacting. And if anybody has any questions, if you have any if you have any concerns, if you have any comments, if you can make any suggestions, please let speak up and converse with me and just interact with me. Okay, here. So domestic violence from Wikipedia, they define it as violence or abuse or other abuse that occurs in a domestic setting, such as in marriage or in a habitation, which means domestic violence often used as a synonym for intimate partner violence, which is committed by one of the people in the relationship against the other person. Okay, so it involves violence also against children, parents, and the elderly. So there are many forms of violence, including physical violence, verbal, emotional, economic, religious, reproductive, financial, sexual, abuse. So it 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 arranges its subtle ways. There's so many ways that somebody can be experience domestic violence. And if I did not go ahead and read and do my research, I wouldn't have even known all of this. And even just beating somebody or just having control over somebody, you know, but it's so much more than that, right? So it can be coercive rape, marital rape. Would you believe that? Violent physical abuse such as choking, beating, female genitalia mutilation, acid throwing. This may, and this things result in disfigurement or death. Oh my gosh, stalking, domestic. Oh my, it just. I mean, I'm reading this and I'm getting cold because I cannot understand for the life of me why one human is able to have the guts to do that to another. But it is real. It is worldwide. Every part of the world, every corner of the world has someone who faces domestic violence situations, you know. And they said the World Health Organization says that 1 in 3 of all women are subjected to domestic violence at some point in their life. Now, guys, we talk about domestic violence. I don't want you to feel that women are the only people who go through domestic violence. That is so far from the truth. Women as well as men, okay? Male or female, whatever age, we go through domestic violence. People go through domestic violence. Okay, and this kind of things can be brought about for so many different reasons, but I don't see no reason why. For example, if you have a spouse and the spouse is cheating on you, why would you resort to violence? If you do not like that situation, you feel that you cannot reconcile, take your bag and leave. Okay, and I would not advise anyone to stay in any domestic abusive violent relationship, or in any situation where you are being violently raped, or anything that is a form of control that is going to cause harm to you. Okay, so it is a very, very, very painful subject. It is a very painful subject, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it. Especially, I found that men on the whole do not like to talk about the instances of domestic violence. And guys, take it from me, not only as women, but you have to let your voice be heard as well. I do not believe that even if as I'm a woman, and even if I'm a woman, and we are majority of us, 1 in 3 face domestic violence. I do not believe that, you know, we should just discard what the male goes through in domestic violence situations. I have known men that have been beaten to the pulp, and they will tell you, and most times you hear people go, "Well, why you a man? Why would you let a woman beat you up?" There's some strong women out there, you all know, guys. So I know being, funny, but there are some really strong men out there, and it will not take just them beating on you, but they come in so many different ways, you know, so many different ways. And it is distressing to see that. It is distressing to see that, we say that we love someone. Even, for example, for those who are married, you say that we love someone. We vow to be with that person. When you have a wife or you have another partner, that person should be, you know, your better half. If you hurt that person, you know that you're hurting yourself as well, in essence. And for you to have the courage to cause that person hurt, sorry. And it is very, I don't understand it. So I am calling on tonight, I'm going to be calling on the male to speak up. Speak up. Ladies, I know we go for stuff. I know we are considered the weaker vessel. Okay, but men go through it too. I'm typing something to somebody. Okay, I'm trying to find the statistics of men. Okay, so still, let me see statistically what does the report say had lost. I do not get it, but I'm going to tell you this. 1 in 4 men, yes, 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. So why don't we hear about these men? Why did the study say, why don't we hear about those men? Okay, men go through it. We are taught to express ourselves, especially as a victim, isn't okay. Okay, men fear that they will not be believed, or that their claims will not be taken seriously. Okay, and it is sad because all of us are human beings, and we have. I'm here to advocate not just for the female or for the male, but domestic violence on the whole against any person, any person. Okay, so men are less likely to come forward, you know, and a lot of it has to do with gender norms that have been placed upon these men. Men are taught, that they will not be believed or something like that. But guys, think about it. Think about it. Would you um would you be in a situation where it's going to demean you to the point where I have heard that men have committed suicide because they do not want to go out there to talk about it? Imagine a strong man don't want to talk about the thing that hurt him as a woman. I know so, it it I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I know it can be shameful. It can be shameful for somebody to tell somebody, hey, my woman beat me up. It can be shameful, but you need to speak up. I don't know what is happening with my guest. I don't know if there was a time there was mistake on the time. I don't know what is happening, but I'm still gonna keep talking until if she doesn't come, then that's fine. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that men should come forward, to talk about the abuses more? And if you're a woman who's facing domestic violence, when do you get to say enough is enough? Can somebody en- encourage you enough to the point where you say, this man is going to kill me, I'm going to leave? I'm thinking about so many different things right now, and I could think of so many questions. When somebody's going through this, it is difficult for you to be able to sometimes to come up to that person. Sometimes you may feel the initial anger of, oh my gosh, you're going through this, I'm going to, this is my sister, or this is my daughter, I'm going to hurt somebody. And then that may not be the right course of action. Sometimes you may want to just speak to the person and find out what is going on in their head. What do they want to do? And in the questions, it has to be non-judgmental, and it has to be about, what do they want, and how you cannot just push them and shove things in their face, but in a loving way, encourage them, let them see, what it can lead to. Oh no, what it can lead to, and what how it can affect them. Okay, so you may ask questions as to what, for somebody who has been affected with this, you may ask them like, is there any way that I can help you? What do you want me to do for you at that moment? How can I be of support? you know and you can just have really, you know loving, and loving, and oh my gosh, the word is coming out of my head. It's here, but it's not coming out of my mouth. You can have really loving, conversations with that person, because as a survivor, victim or survivor, the trauma is really tough. And then sometimes, like, you may not want to talk about it. You may just want to keep it to yourself. And you may be thinking, okay, this person is going to change. That person is going to see me for who I am. And maybe their love that they feel for me is going to make them stop. But I also want to help people understand sometimes that people are going through their own mental illnesses, and then they have been through a cycle of abuse. And so then that's what they have seen, and they do it. They just continue the cycle of abuse. And sad to say, those at the receiving end also may end up either continuing the cycle of abuse, or they may end up, you know, being severely depressed, or they may face death, by the hands of their partner. So there are so many things to talk about. So many things to talk about, so many different situations, so many women, so many different men have been, so many people, children have been affected by domestic violence so badly that children end up taking their lives because they cannot cope. They cannot take it. Where did this trend of domestic violence come from? I'm yet to figure that out. I am yet to figure that out, because I will do my research, because I want to understand. I want to understand. I really do. So I'm not gonna stay here long because my guest is not here, and I think I have over. I have went over, what I really do want to get over. But you can also you can um you can ask the survivors, about domestic violence survivors about, different questions, you know what would a perfect day be like for them. Why do you feel that the need, for those of them who are advocating, why do you feel you need to advocate for domestic violence? And I mean, it can get really touchy, but at the same time, sometimes we have to learn from the experiences of others. We learn how to do things better. We learn the strategies we need to use if we find ourselves in the situation. um and what can I say? Sometimes when you're abused by a partner, they can make it very difficult for you to leave. It's like they have a that hold on you. It's like they will do everything possible for you not to leave, for them to keep you in that situation. And it's sad to say, but there are so many people who have endured domestic violence for years upon years that it become a norm to them. They feel it's okay. It is never okay to get beaten almost to the point of death by somebody who claims to love you. And my guest on the show yesterday, she fought to have this person who hurt her so badly, you know, she fought to have him pay. But there are so many who cannot get out of the situation, so many who just are suffering in silence and just taking the beatings until you just say one day somebody is dead. And some of these people, they leave their partners crippled. My advice to you is, if you are facing any kind of situation where you are in domestic violence situations, please find the strength and the courage to help. Get help and do it in a way that is going to save, that is not, that the person, your abuser will not know. Find resources around you. Call for help. Talk to somebody, because love does not hurt. Love does not want to see you with a black eye. Love does not want to see you choking on the floor. Love does not want to see you with a broken bone. Love does not want to see you lay down in a hospital fighting for your life. Love is beautiful, and domestic violence is not love. I repeat it again. Domestic violence is not love. It is a form of control. Okay? So, guys, this is all for today. Cindy Placide is going to be checking out. I've had two shows, this one and the one earlier on, and I know a lot of people have so much to do. So I just wanted to thank you for being on the program. Thank you um, for always gracing, me with your presence. I really appreciate my viewers. I appreciate everything that you do to. I appreciate everything that you do to help others. There's so many people in the community helping other people, and it takes a strong person to stand up and to say, I want to help you. It takes love and concern. So continue trying to help those who are in that situation, in that circumstance. If you have somebody who's, that is in that kind of relationship, please help them out. Help them understand the gravity of the situation and why they need not stay there. Okay? Because unless that person, the abuser, gets help, you are not safe. And the end result will be the end of your life. it will accumulate to that. So I love you guys, my risers and my prosperity builders. Thank you for being great sports. I know it's Friday and everybody's is having their fun. This is my fun right here. So thank you, my viewers. Thank you for listening to me. And I do hope that you have an amazing weekend. Be safe and remember, there are no tap outs. Don't tap out in life. Don't let anybody control your life, okay? Don't let anybody control you to the point where you have no voice. Let your voice be heard. Speak out. I love you all. Again, this is your kind hostess, Cindy Placide. Listen, guys, if you have not seen my first book, okay, my first book is talks about everything that I went through, okay, my grief, talks about a lot of things. So check out my first book, When I Stood in Silence. My second book is entitled A Mighty Calm. A Mighty Calm is a powerful book where it just lifts you up and then make you find your purpose. And the third book is just released this past October. It's entitled Seriousness. Seriousness. Yeah, it is a book of reflection, a book of so many different facets. So get and check out my book, okay? I love you all. Have an amazing night. This is Cindy Classic. Good night.